Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is our spoiler chat for episode 3 and episode 4, double feature of The Witcher Season 2, cause we get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That is right. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about those two episodes I said. Episode 3, What is Lost, and episode 4, Redanian Intelligence.
Ooh.
Which means that one of my favorite beefy boys is on the screen.
One of your favorite...
Beefy boys. Redanian Intelligence.
Dijkstra?
Dijkstra.
I didn't know Dijkstra was your favorite.
I love Dijkstra.
Nice, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of Kingpin from the Marvel Comics universe. And Kingpin is one of my favorite villains in all of comics. And so Dijkstra has always had that kind of vibe to me, and so I've always really resonated with
Interesting. I do like him in the game, but I haven't done the, assassination quest yet.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of, because I can't actually progress that one until I do the main quest,
And you don't like doing main quests?
No, I know. I'm doing the main quest on Monday.
Yeah, but you prefer to do Gwent.
Yes.
That's most of what you know Dijkstra from is Gwent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have 2 episodes here, and, I think that we ended the spoiler chat for episode 1 and 2 a little bit like, the Eskel thing kind of bothered me a lot, and there were some other things in that second episode that felt a little bit inconsistent with, the world they're in.
Yeah.
These 2 episodes, for the most part, and we do have a couple of sticking points, these episodes really, really are a step forward for the season, and definitely, in my opinion, this season is getting better as it goes.
See, I didn't really love episode 3, but
fair.
Episode 4 stepped it up for me, so I'm kind of
you didn't love
this on
half of episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the other half of episode 3 is great.
Yeah.
So should we do the stuff? Should we do it like the last spoiler chat where we do Yennefer's storyline first and then the Witcher storyline second?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we're gonna go through both episodes with Yennefer of Vengerberg. And this is the side that doesn't work.
Yeah.
For me.
It's not working at all.
Episode 4 stuff worked for me.
It's better. Yeah.
Mostly because of who comes back. But we pick up, Yennefer has somehow made it back to Aretuza. She cannot use chaos anymore.
No magic.
And she's trying to hide that from everyone. And it leads to some interesting stuff. She tries to take a bath, but she can't heat up the water. Triss comes in, and Yennefer gets to see that her hair is different.
Surprise, Triss is now a redhead.
So, here's my question. What happened at the Battle of Sodden that Triss has... Because it's...
She lost her soul.
She lost her soul, so she's a ginger.
Yeah, so she's a ginger now. That's canon. I'm not making that up. It is known in the lore.
God damn it. No, it's just funny to me. It is...
Yeah.
I understand that, the backlash to her not being a redhead in season 1 was very strong. And I was one of those people who was like, why not just make her hair red?
Well, because it looks so good.
Yeah, and her hair does look great.
Yeah.
But now that they're making it red now, it's just funny.
It's weird, yeah.
It's like you almost died and you came back a redhead.
Yeah, it's very strange. I think you should have just made a strong choice and stuck to it. Changing it in the between season 1 and season 2 is a strange choice. I wish they'd just given her that wig from the beginning because it looks fantastic. Or maybe
it is one of the better wigs on the show.
Or maybe they dyed her hair.
And give us a couple minutes. We're gonna be talking about a bad hairpiece on this show, like a distractingly bad hairpiece.
Yeah.
Triss doesn't want to go swimming because she has some scars that she doesn't want to show people yet, and Yennefer is like, "Girl, same."
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to reveal that she can't do magic, and I was like that conversation between Triss and Yen, I loved. Their relationship is always so complicated and interesting, and I love the way that it was portrayed in that episode.
And that scene I thought was great as a whole. You know, and having the other mages come in and
including the one that looks like Triss Miracle.
Yeah.
I think Sabrina's her name.
Yeah, the one that she got understudy Triss.
Yeah, understudy Triss. Then Yennefer goes through a walk through the halls, and...
Well, no, first... Oh, wait, no. Does she talk to...
she has a brief conversation with Tisea, and Tisea's like, I'm glad you're back.
Oh, right, yeah. They have, like, a very, like, honestly, the moment where Yennefer walked in to, like, the council meeting or whatever, how she let herself...
How she got all the way to the council chamber without someone informing them that she was there.
Yeah, security
Crazy.
seems to be kind of laxing. But
they're only at war.
Yeah,
it's
fine. But the moment where she turns around and she sees Yennefer, it was really well done.
Yeah, I think that them showing Tisea's heart in this season is really strong.
I agree.
And I do buy into it. I think that the actress who plays Tisea is doing a really wonderful job of selling me on that.
Yes.
I can never remember her name because she has kind of a tough name.
Maiana?
Is it Maiana?
Miana or Maiana?
Yeah. She's great. And I think that she's really selling a side of Tisea that we didn't see in season 1. And I'm really enjoying that. Yeah,
for sure. So Yennefer decides to take a little stroll through the hallways and runs into...
And it's the most insane... It is the most insane brief walk since, like, Harry and Ron and Hermione managed to, like, accidentally come across Fluffy on the 3rd floor of Hogwarts.
Yeah, literally.
Like, she runs into Vilgefortz.
Yep.
And...
No, wait, she runs into somebody else first, doesn't she?
It's Vilgefortz first.
Oh, yes, it is.
Vilgefortz first. And they're like...
Cool.
They have a conversation about politics, and Tisea has just told her, hey, you need to let Vilgefortz have the
credit.
Because we're trying to win this political victory. And it seems like Yennefer's on board for that. She gets it. And I think that she would rather see Tisea in power anyway, right? Mm-hmm. And then she comes across Cahir's cell, which is in the middle of a hall. Like, there is just a cell in the middle of a random hallway.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you not have a dungeon or something? Like, this just seems like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went to breakfast, and then I walked past the prisoner, and then...
Yeah, the layout of the castle seems very odd.
But there's also no other cells near it. It's just, like, this one single cell.
Yeah.
And so she has her first interaction with Cahir of the episode, which goes fine. But then
she also... Guys, everybody is in this hallway all at the same time because she runs into Stregobor.
Well, and the writers even knew that this sequence was crazy, so they had her be like, "Are all the men in this castle in the hallways?" Like, she has a line where she acknowledges it, and this beat almost took me over the edge. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it almost took me over the edge.
Is bad.
Stregobor attacks her
in the middle of the hallway.
In the middle of the hall.
Apparently a very busy hallway where everybody's just hanging out. Prisoners happening? Just over there, just watching. Yeah, literally like mind probes her and like is trying to get information on what happened. He doesn't trust Yennefer. He doesn't understand why she was missing and then came back. Mm-hmm. Thinks that she's a spy, or maybe he doesn't think that she's a...
I wouldn't trust Yennefer either.
I mean...
Like, they don't even trust her in season 1, right? Like, she leaves the Order in season 1. Their mistrust of Yennefer is well placed, but...
She's not a trustworthy person.
But...
We know this. But
you have
her in the middle of the hallway.
Who are coming for you politically, and you attack a woman in the... I was like, what is... And then
lo and behold, Tisea then obviously shows up, saves Yennefer, and is like, how dare you? You will answer for this. And then he doesn't answer for this because he's able to, like, conjure up a spooky story about, Yennefer, she's a spy. We don't know. It
was just, like, the most contrived storyline. Yeah. It was so contrived. Yeah. It didn't feel honest to any character's intelligence. It didn't feel like it was like... It felt like it was necessary to get Yennefer out of there. Yeah. And that's it. And the way that they got there, in my opinion, made Stregobor behave. There's a concept in writing called the idiot ball. And it is a concept especially in television writing, where you come up with a plot and the joke is which character has to hold the idiot ball in order for the plot to happen.
And do the dumb shit.
And this is something that TV and that screenwriters have been talking about for ages, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not coming up with this concept. It is in books and they gave Stregobor the idiot ball.
Yeah.
But they did it in such an obvious way because he's supposed to be one of the smartest, tactical, politically minded people. And he does get out of it, admittedly. He somehow gets away with his ridiculous mistake. But, like, I just genuinely was, like, in the couch just being like...
Like, who, yeah.
Don't insult my intelligence.
Well, exactly. And don't insult, like, the characters that we're supposed to kind of be, like, fearful of. I think that's the right way to put it. You know, we're supposed to be worried about their motives and what they're plotting, whereas this was just, like, blatant stupidity.
The middle of the hall in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And so the downfall of all this, what happens is that Yennefer has to kill Cahir.
Murder the prisoner.
So that she can prove that she's not a spy. And then I'm assuming if she does, Stregobor will have consequences? Maybe not.
We don't
White
know.
men get away with shit, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's true.
Maybe that's the story they're telling, I guess. I didn't like it.
Very poorly.
I didn't like that beat quite a lot.
No, the beat was silly. Yeah. And then, you know, and then we do have a really great scene between Yennefer and Tissaia. Yeah. Tissaia lets her know, look, this is what you're going to have to do, which that part is stupid. But Tissaia's like, you've lost your magic.
Tissaia calls her out. She knows. Yeah,
She's like, I have known you. I know you better than you know yourself, basically. And like, this is what's happening here. You're going to have to do this. Why? I don't know. How that proves she's not a spy, I don't.
And that's what Yennefer says, right? Like, and I don't think that having your character say that it's dumb makes it less dumb.
No, it doesn't. No. It doesn't at all, because everyone's sitting here being like, why? And so then they go to this, like, ceremony, basically, in front of a bunch of the kings.
Which I think was back in Sodden. Which is quite a trek.
Yeah.
Based on my understanding of where Aretuza is.
Well, yeah, they all, like, conglomerate, and it's, like, all of the northern kingdoms. Like, kind of everybody, I think. So, I don't know how long it took them all to appear there. I guess they all have magicians, so they can portal. Technically.
Yes.
So I guess that's fine. But there are a bunch of people sitting behind them, so, you know, it would have been a bit of a process. So, anyways, okay, if there's magic, it's fine. We can all portal together. You know, they list the names of the people that were lost, and
which I actually really liked the scene. I thought it was a beautiful, like, memorial, and
it was great before it fell apart.
It was really nice that the Northern Kingdoms built the Washington Monument for them to remember. I was like, is that the Washington?
And I've seen that before.
It was sticking in my brain because we just watched Spider-Man: Homecoming before No Way Home, and I was like, did they build the? Did they just, like, take, like, a stock footage of the Washington Monument and CGI it? It looked like it was a physical set piece, but it was just very fun. I was like, that's the Washington Monument.
Yeah, it was.
But it was a great scene, and honestly, again, Tissaia just crushes it with the lines. Vilgefortz also comes in, has a great speech, hands a giant, massive axe to Yennefer.
Well, here's
that axe was massive.
Yeah, but when you're trying to, like, cleanly take someone's head off without them suffering, having the heavier weight behind it actually makes that easier.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying when he, like, picks it up and he's just walking around with it, I was just like, that thing's huge.
You know what? It's still not as big as the Executioner's Axe from Harry Potter.
That's true.
That was a monster.
I have no problem with the axe being huge. I'm just pointing out that I liked it quite a bit. I was
big. That's big.
But also, they don't know that Tissaia knows she can't use magic. So I kind of figured I thought what was going to happen was they're going to be like, all right, kill him. And she was going to be like, I can't.
Because she doesn't have magic anymore. But instead, they make her do it with an axe, which, why? I guess it's, like, ceremonial in a sense, but I don't really understand it.
And then stuff gets dumb.
Really dumb.
Again. The idiot ball, Stregobor breaks the idiot ball into a bunch of balls and gives it to everyone.
Literally, everyone in the scene, every single person, except maybe Cahir.
And maybe Tissaia. Because Tissaia knows what's up.
Yeah, Tissaia knows what's up. But it's so silly. First of all, we know Yennefer, her moral compass, questionable at times. She has hurt people. She has killed people. Yep. She has slaughtered thousands of soldiers. You know, like, her character does not have a problem with
murder,
with death. And so to introduce that weird morality now in season 2 does not work.
I don't think it's morality.
Why?
Because I think that what she
is she just being like, you can't tell me what to do, fuck you. Like,
no, I think that she's looking at Kahir and she's saying, if I kill him, they're going to paint me as savage because the tide is turning against the elves at the moment, right? And that's the part of it, right? She's part elf. Wait, what? And Stregobor in the thing is, I know she is looking at it politically. And she's saying, if I don't kill him, they think I'm a spy. Mm-hmm. If I do kill him, it doesn't actually prove anything. And Stregobor set this up. So I think they actually she kind of alludes to this in her conversation with Tisea, right? She's like, what does this win? Except if I kill him in front of all these people, Stregobor will then use that against me as well. So Stregobor wins either way. If I don't kill him or I do.
But Stregobor wanted her to do it.
Yes, because he wins either way. He is setting up a scenario in which if she kills him, she looks bad. And if she doesn't kill him, she looks like a spy. And it's a smart move on Stregobor's part.
Stregobor, sure, yeah. He gives away the idiot ball.
And so what she is realizing is there is no way for her to go back to Aretuza with a political victory here. And no matter what happens, she's going to be looked on poorly. And so she has to get out. And I understand that setup. The problem is
here's the thing though. They don't make it seem like it's a political or strategical thing. They make it seem like it's an impulsive emotional thing.
But she says it in the conversation with Tisea. Like, I will give the show the credit that in the conversation with Tisea, she's like, if I do kill him, Stregobor will still use that against me. Like, it's in the dialogue of the show that she's thinking that way, right?
Yeah.
And I agree, because my problem with it, and why I think it's a terrible end of an episode, is she breaks Kahir's chain.
Yeah. How? I'm sorry. Those rings are like this. How did you not slice his hands off and break? Anyways.
She's got great aim. But then she hits 2 pyres down.
Yeah, she just knocks two things down and is like, ah!
And like up until that point, I'm fine with it. The chain is convenient, but whatever. I'm okay with it. At this point, though, she just gets away, and they are surrounded.
They just leave.
Absolutely surrounded by people who have magic.
Yeah, they just leave.
And only Tisea wants her to get away.
Yeah.
Only Tisea's fine with it. Vilgefortz isn't. Vilgefortz is a very talented battle magician.
Yeah.
How in the world do they escape?
No idea.
How in the world?
And the show doesn't tell you.
Because nobody even tries. Nobody even tries to stop them.
Nobody moves.
Everyone's like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
As if knocking down 2 pyres stops magicians.
Yeah.
And I understand that they needed to get Yennefer to where she is in episode 4. Because I actually really like where she's at in episode 4. And I like the Kahir Yennefer stuff in episode 4 a lot. And we're about to talk about it. Everything they did with Yennefer in episode 3 to get her and Kahir to Redania, I just didn't like, because it was convenient, it was contrived, it treated the characters as stupid when it needed to, and it forgot that the characters have magic and can stop 2 people who don't have magic, one of whom is probably barely eaten in weeks, from escaping them. Yeah. It just I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it would have been more fun if the show had given us a really interesting, Yennefer, they're like, Yennefer, you have to kill this guy. And instead of like going to the ceremony and like running away on a horseback, if we got to see Yennefer be smart and either coerce or manipulate or blackmail somebody into like breaking the guy out of his cell and like portaling them away.
Or just, what's his name? Istrid?
Yeah.
Or if Istrid just helped her get away.
Yeah, if he's still there.
He is, because they have the scene where he's like, you can't leave that way. Stregobor's guards are on the wall.
You're right.
And
there could have been...
It was just insane to watch. It was insane to watch 2 people get away from essentially...
The most powerful people in the world.
Multiple royal guards and a bunch of wizards. And I just was like, what? And then the next episode, they're just in a town, and you're like...
Wearing the most extravagant
clothes.
cloaks.
The brightest purple cloak in the world.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you hiding?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm like, at least put like mud on it or some. Or
well, I think that in their minds they're not being hunted yet. Like, they don't even know.
Okay, but then the wanted papers drop into
Which
the
was
mud.
rad. The way those birds turned into the wanted papers was that was a very cool use of magic.
Yeah, very
I enjoyed
cool.
that a lot.
Yeah, but it doesn't. First of all, the portraits of them not helpful at all.
Yennefer's was pretty good, but the Kahir portrait looks.
Nothing.
The people sending out those portraits know that he has a beard.
Like a big beard.
Like, because they were just with him. Mm-hmm. Literally. They are the reason he has a beard. They did not let him shave. Mm-hmm. And so to send out photos that are a profile of him in armor on a horse with no beard, I was like, what?
It was a silly choice.
Here's a police sketch of what he looked like a year ago.
Yeah. But then after, they're like, okay, we're being hunted. We're going to keep these really bright cloaks on.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys, come on.
There was also, like, no reason for them to be in a big town. Like, it's not like at the end of the last episode they were in a big town, and so they had to get out of a big town. They were they could have just ridden a horse in any direction. They chose to go to the middle of a town and get rid of their horse. Why? I don't know.
I mean, it is a very dangerous world. And so perhaps they are trying to keep a low profile within, like, the safety of civilization. I mean, that is my best
I guess. I just feel like...
Because she can't use magic, and he's, I don't know, probably not in great shape, right?
Oh, 100%. But so, they had a horse.
They did have
and you can ride a horse. You can ride a horse from Redania to Sintra. Mm-hmm. But they go to a town...
Yeah.
...of a king who wants them dead.
Yeah.
To discover that there's a boat that will take them to Sintra, but they don't even have that information going into that town.
Yeah, they're just kind of in
they're just kind of there.
Place.
Anyway, that is the end of my complaining about the Yennefer story, because from here on, it's pretty great. They do get chased. We see that the elves are being persecuted. It's awful.
Yeah,
They get chased and they end up dropping down into a sewer. Mm-hmm. Where they run into two elves who are like, we can go meet the Sandpiper and he's going to help us get out of town. And then they're like going through the sewer. The only reason these elves are willing to help them is because Yennefer's nice to them, which kindness is a virtue. And then, I can't remember their names, but B, I'm going to call him B because I'm pretty sure his name started with a B. He's
the nice one?
deaf.
Yeah.
And so he is signing this story about himself that is very sad. And I was like, why is this character telling us a sad story? Oh, he's going to die.
He's going to die. Yeah.
Because I have seen television before.
Yep.
And then an octopus
eats him. Lo and behold,
yeah,
some weird tentacle comes out and snags him away. And
that looked great. Those octopus tentacles
looked great.
Looked fantastic.
Yeah, and so his friend just kind of like runs away, takes off. Yennefer gets dragged under and they gets pulled back out and they're fine.
It's very Luke in the trash compactor.
Yeah. Kahira's like, use your magic, and she's like, I can't. And so that's how he finds out that she can't cast anymore. And then they get back out of the sewer and they see that guy that ran away and they're like, you just left your friend. Oh, and he's like, yep.
And they're in the basement of an inn. And they're like, well, where's the Sandpiper? And they're like, we have to wait till everyone leaves because he's playing right now. And Yen's like... And then we get another song from our good old friend Dandy.
Yeah.
Our good friend Yeskier.
A very, like, bitter, salty
song. Yeah. Like, co-produced by Good Charlotte.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Which, it was great. But
it's not quite a hit.
Here's the thing.
It's not going to be the next Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
No.
But I did quite like it.
And here's the thing. It was really hard to listen to that song when I had to look at that wig.
This is the hairpiece we were talking about.
Guys.
What is going on with Dandelion's hair?
Has he never seen a barber before? Did he do it himself?
What would a barber have to do with a wig?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If that was his actual hair, like, it's uneven. It looks like it should be in a ponytail in the back, but it's not. And it has these, like, straight chunks that are here, and the back just, like, flips. It's
a bad hairpiece. It's a really bad hairpiece. Honestly, every single scene that he had, it was distracting to me how bad a wig it was. Yeah. And what's wild to me is that the wig work in season 2, other than that, has been really strong. Geralt's wig looks so much better than season 1.
Yeah, Ciri's wig
looks
looks
such a huge
great.
step forward. Ciri's wig looks fantastic. Triss's wig looks fantastic.
Well done.
I think Yennefer's hair is real. And if it's a wig, that's a testament to how good that wig is.
Mm-hmm.
The hair work in season 2 has been really solid. And then we see Jaskier, and you're like, what? Yeah, it's the easiest wig of all of them because it's just a short page boy wig.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. It's like they were trying to do something. Maybe he's going through his Good Charlotte emo phase.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All the small things. Two-thirds.
But it was nice to see. It was nice to see Dandelion again. It was very fun. Him and Yennefer reunite. He says some mean things. You know, he's a salty boy.
To be fair, they have a contentious relationship.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, he's used to her giving back better than she does in this episode.
Yeah,
and I think that it's funny, right? Because they soften towards each other because he picks up on the fact that she's hurting. Yeah. And the one thing I will say to the actor's credit, Joey Beatty, is he played the slow softening of Dandy towards Yennefer throughout the episode, throughout their scenes together, really well. And it wasn't just a like, oh, I'm going to stop being mean because you're upset and we've changed.
Yeah.
It was a gradual shift over the course of 3 or 4 scenes that by the end, he's still like saying like his kind of comedy bits to her.
Yeah.
But there's no sharp edge to them anymore. And it just dulls throughout in a really nice way. And honestly, it's why I didn't like how they got Yennefer here, but where we ended up with it is so good that I loved it. It's so good,
yeah. And I'm like, oh, you could have done anything else. But yeah, I'm happy where we ended up. I'm happy with Yennefer and Dandelion and that like scene that they had in the bar. I think it was really well done. And yeah, so Dandy helps these elves, and has been helping elves escape to Sintra, right?
But they keep using the Elvish name.
Oh.
Sinatra, I think. Okay.
That's
which is
why
cool.
I was
I like the
confused.
I like that touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Danny helps him out. And here's the thing. I have no idea what their plan is. All we know is that these people need to get snuck onto a boat. And so Dandy goes first. You're
still so mad about this.
I am really mad about it.
So Dandelion basically wins this encounter. He rolls
Yennefer?
No, with the dock guy, right? He rolls a natural 20 on performance.
Yes, because the guy's like, "Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
I love your song. My niece or my daughter or something.
My niece
loves you. Yeah, loves you."
But then he has some criticisms for season 1 of The Witcher, and it's fun. It goes on a touch too long
because
they need Dandy to freak out. But it started to be a little bit like they were like, and the YouTube comments on the season 1
are as follows.
Oh yeah, there's too much time jumping. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I was like transported back. I was like, I remember being in these nerd conversations a year ago.
Yeah, and so this guy is like, yeah, love your stuff. This one is not your strongest.
Yeah.
It's not even, he's like, I think you suck. He's like, this particular song, I don't think is your strongest work. And here's why. And Dandy is like,
I kept waiting for him to be like, but that toss a coin to your Witcher sure was a hit a year ago.
Yeah. So he turns around and he's like, am I going to say it? Yep, I'm going to say it. And I was like, no, you fucking moron.
Wow, you're really dropping the F-bombs today. You don't, you also have a little lipstick on your teeth. You might want to.
Oh, that's cute.
It's gone.
That's probably been there the whole time. You're welcome. So he turns around and he gives this guy hell. Which, like, bro, you're an artist. Take it. That's if like you can't handle criticism.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Okay. There are hundreds, there are thousands of songwriters out there who, if someone was like, yeah, it's not your best work and like here's why, would not then like insult this guy to high heaven.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists would.
I think
at the very least you'd get a, hey, nobody asked.
Look, I mean, like, as someone who is an artist who puts art for display and consumption for other people, like, Dandelion, what are you thinking?
He's in his goth emo phase. Let him be emotional.
It just, here's my problem with it. Here's my problem. He turns around, gives this guy hell, and then the elf guy who left his friend before has to create a distraction and probably dies. He gets beat so horribly on the ground to let everybody else get on. All because Dandelion couldn't just take a little bit of criticism. He had to be a freaking sag boy about it and get all salty. And I was like, what? Like, come on. Like, you're a dick, dude. Like, that guy is probably dead because of you.
I hold that it is 100% that guy's responsibility for himself running out and being like, F the North. We've already said the F-bomb a lot on this episode, thanks to this one, so I won't directly quote the episode. But he chooses to do that. It's not Dandelion's plan for him to do that.
But he wouldn't have had to do it if
he doesn't know that. Dandelion might have had a plan.
Here's the thing. If Dandelion had just been like, oh, you don't like that one, well, which one is your favorite?
Sure. Okay. My point on this is, like, I don't know what Dandelion's plan was at all.
Well, that's the thing.
Getting them on the ship doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't care enough, but like I was like...
I don't know how Dandelion getting on the ship
helps anyone else get on the ship.
The other people onto the ship. But here's the thing, because it's a ship. If it was a building or something and you could sneak them in a back door, fine. But a ship only has one way you can get on it, unless it's like massive.
There could have been a couple of gangways.
It wasn't that big a ship.
It was a decently sized ship, though. There could have been 2 gangways. He could have tossed a rope down, and they could have climbed up a rope on the side.
Maybe. Yeah, we have
getting
no idea what
getting
that plan
Dandy
was
on the
supposed to be.
ship gets and I have a couple of questions. Getting Dandy on the ship helps them get on the ship. How? First of all, fine. Even if you have an answer to that, them just being on the ship is like, and I just wish Dandy had been like, if we can get past the dock workers and get you on the ship's captain is nice or whatever. But like, you're not gonna hide 12 people on a small ship for weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to sail. Like, here's the thing. You can, as maybe a single individual, maybe hide in, like, the storage of a ship. But, like, people need to go down there for supplies.
It's like 12 people.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them. And so...
And my thing is, like, Dandy's been doing this long enough that people know about it.
Yeah.
And, like, consistently.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm just kind of like... It just felt like he's like, well, I don't really have a plan. I'm like, how have you consistently been pulling off this scheme and you have no idea how it works? And the dock workers don't know who you are? Yeah. Like, you've done this before. It's not like they're like, we found this guy who's going to try. They're like, the Sandpiper does this. It's his thing. And then when you watch him do it, you're just kind of like, do you? Is this your thing?
Improving the whole thing.
That to me was baffling.
Yeah.
But it leads to we're over a half hour into this, and we are only on the Yennefer story.
Stuff. Yeah.
This is gonna be an hour-long spoiler chat. But there's a lot of things that we have to talk about in this because it's like weird. So then Dandelion gets beat up because they get on the ship and Yennefer sees his loot and we don't know what she decides because that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. We are left at the cliffhanger of we hear a like noise where it sounds like Dandelion has gotten like kidnapped or taken or beat or something. We see his broken loot and Yennefer on the ship and that's it. So I guess we'll find out later.
Before we go to Kaer Morhen, let's quickly talk about the Redanian king scene. Where we get to meet our good boy Dijkstra. Right. Good, beefy boy.
Yeah.
Broad-shouldered. The king is about to get a little bit of a tipple from his servants there. Or his advisors or whatever they are.
Or like guests? I don't know. It sounded
No, they're like his advisors. Because he's like, I've known that one since I was 12, right?
I was 12, you're right.
So, as the woman is about to hand him a goblet, she straight up gets murked in the neck.
Gets through her throat. Yep. That
was violent. Yep. And the Redanian king
he's like
has no reaction. He's like,
does not care.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And I think that it's because he can see Dijkstra and he knows it was Dijkstra that did it, and it like the reveal of Dijkstra's for the audience.
Yeah.
But he was very much like
he's like, oh, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to get this dry cleaned. Like
he doesn't quite look. He looks older than what I thought Dijkstra would be.
Really?
Yeah. Just because this is like 10 years before Witcher 3, right?
Right, and he's just a human.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But this guy walks into the room, and I just immediately was like, and then obviously the king says Dijkstra, but like even before he said it, I was like,
we knew.
That's Dijkstra.
Yeah.
Because this guy, this casting, I haven't loved all the casting this season. Dijkstra, mwah.
Perfection.
This guy is great.
Yeah, he was really good in Outlander. Like
he's an Outlander. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hope I can grow a beard that looks like his when I'm older. Because his beard that's a nice beard. He takes care of that. So then he makes the other advisor, drink from the goblet. Poison. Duh.
And the king is just like, oh god, this is so annoying.
That is his reaction.
He's like, oh, I've known this guy since I was 12. What an inconvenience. Like.
No, but you're so right.
But it's great.
He's really just like, oh, come on. Will people stop trying to kill me, please?
Yeah, no. The scene was fantastic. The introduction to Dijkstra was fantastic.
And to the owl.
The owl. I don't know what the owl is.
Magic.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Do you know the owl's name?
No.
Hedwig.
Shut your face. It's a.
Don't get attached.
Wow. And then we do have another scene with Dijkstra where he's seemingly drunk and talking to the owl about plans to.
I don't know if he's drunk, but he's like, it's shot like when a character takes like drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, very weird.
Oh, we've got to get an elf. We've got to get an elf into Centra. And you're like, what? Dude?
Yeah, the plan that he conceived is to take the right elf, manipulate him as like a double agent, and send him off.
Yes.
So that they can conquer Sintra. And
so the elf that he chooses is
our
familiar.
Good old buddy.
Dara. Yes. From season 1.
Yes.
Who is in the ship with Yennefer and Cahir at the end of the episode.
Yes, that was a fun little reveal.
Yes. So I feel like Dandelion should have faced even less opposition to getting the elves on the ship because they literally needed Dara to get on that ship.
To get in there, but anyways, let's move on to the part of the show that I'm actually really enjoying. We're going to go back.
A half hour in.
Yep.
We're almost 40 minutes into this episode.
Here's the thing. We're doing 2 episodes. So
it's true. These are long spoiler chats.
Yeah.
Before we do that, let's just quickly call out Gamersubs. Gamersubs.gg is affiliated with us here at the Nerdy Nightly.
Hell yeah.
And if you go there and use the code Clarus, CLAROOS, drop that over at their website and you can get 20% off your order.
10%.
10% off your order.
They are doing a sale though right now currently for Christmas. So you can get free items depending on how large your purchase is. Gamersubs is really... I'm really enjoying it. I don't like coffee. Coffee does not taste good to me. So this is a great way to caffeinate and get like a little boost of energy. There's no sugar in it, and it also has no calories. So if you are also like me and you intermittent fast, you can have that outside your eating window, and it's really tasty. My favorite flavor is the blue raz. So
yeah,
that's what I recommend.
So go over to gamersubs.gg. That's the website, right?
Yeah.
And enter the code Clarus for 10% off today.
Hell yeah.
Back to what we were doing before.
Smooth.
That's right. At the beginning of episode 3, let's go 2 hours back in time. We clearly didn't because I got the discount code.
It was 20% for Black Friday, but it's fine.
Oh, Black Friday.
Yeah, you missed it.
You missed it, but it's Christmas. Go there now.
Yeah.
You know what your mom wants for Christmas? Gamersubs.gg.
She wants a waifu cup.
Get her a waifu sweatshirt.
So Kaer Morhen.
So Geralt and Ciri make it to Kaer Morhen in episode 2.
Yep.
And so now we're post Eskel's death.
Yes.
And we're in the fallout of that. And for some reason, Lambert blames Geralt bringing Ciri to Kaer Morhen for
his death.
Eskel's situation with the Leshen.
Why? No idea. Big question mark.
It's also immediately dropped.
Oh, yeah.
It's
mentioned once and then never again.
In one scene, Lambert says that it's Geralt's that Eskel died because Geralt brought Ciri.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, and the show knows it, so they never touch on it again. But for one scene, we looked at each other like...
Lambert's unhinged.
What did Geralt do?
Dude, I don't know. Even Geralt doesn't say anything. He's like...
The girl's like, Okay, I'm not. Lambert, it's 8 a.m. and you're drunk. I'm going to walk away.
So Ciri's working hard. Ciri wants to be a Huicher.
A Huicher? And so she's patting that horse down. She's giving that horse a little rub. And Lambert and Cohen, who are blaming her for Eskel's death, come over. And they're like, oh, you won't train for real, little girl. Come with us.
Yeah.
And then they go to the training course. And Ciri struggles to get past some swinging logs. And it's a little confusing. I'm not gonna... If you watch it, you're watching a spoiler chat. Yeah. The logs swing like this. Mm-hmm. And she really struggles to get... She gets knocked down by them a couple of times. And it just doesn't look that hard.
It doesn't look that difficult, which I think is a fault of the...
cinematography.
The cinematography. Yeah. Here I've been thinking about this. Okay. And having watched it, the beam that she's on moves, but they don't make a big deal out of that. So if you're on a beam that's shifting and unsteady, then these swinging logs are much harder. But it kind of just seemed like she had to walk across a balance beam in between these logs where there's about like this much space in between them.
But they were swinging consistently.
There was a rhythm. So
that's why I didn't understand.
We were like, oh, you step and then you wait and then you step and you wait.
The rest of that obstacle course is more difficult, right?
Definitely, 100%.
The three thing that's spinning.
That was wild.
That was hard. Legitimately hard. But like the first thing I was like, I feel like she should have fallen once and then figured it out. Yeah. Not like 5 times.
They did not do a good job of showing that one
as being difficult,
unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ciri's like, oh hell no. She gets back up again every single time, and she makes it to the very end of the course. Actually, who is it? The other, not Lambert, but the other Cohen's like, hey Geralt, come see this.
Yeah. And all the Witchers are standing around. It's American Ninja Warrior. People are like hyping her up.
Yeah.
And Lambert put her on this obstacle course to make her feel like crap so that she like gives up.
Yeah.
Not knowing that
Ciri's a badass.
She not only that, but in my experience, if you tell a woman that she won't be able to do something, you're gonna regret doing that.
It's true. That's just facts.
In my experience,
science.
Women really don't love when particularly white men tell them, hey, you're weak and you can't do this. Yeah. It generally goes bad for the man in that situation. And this is what happens. Lambert's watching all these Witchers hyping her up and he's like, damn it.
I wanted to have some fun picking on a little girl.
Picking on a literal child who is here because her family was murdered in front of her.
Yeah, like he has no heart. And like, look, Lambert also sucks in the game. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, he's awful. So Ciri, she makes it through the obstacle course. Doesn't quite stick the very end of the landing, but she has worked her butt off. And continues her training there. And I believe...
And Geralt is there to see it. And he picks her up and he's like...
Yeah.
He gives her a grunt of approval. So they go back to Kaer Morhen, and Geralt... They're like talking about how Ciri's having trouble sleeping and she's having these dreams, and he asks her, like, if you were to follow the feeling that you have, where would it take you? And they go out into the woods and they find the Leshen that killed Eskel. Yeah. And they're like, and Geralt's like about to fight it. He lights his blade on fire. He's cutting up some vines. Yeah. He's like ready to go. And then
the Leshen gets absolutely annihilated by a giant centipede.
Coolest, honestly, in my opinion, the coolest monster design of the TV show so far.
Yeah, for sure.
This giant centipede thing is so rad.
Yeah.
And I freaking loved it. And honestly, this whole fight sequence against the centipede, in my opinion, was really cool. And like there was a lot of tension. Ciri's really bad at hiding. Because she finds a good place to hide.
Rock.
And then the centipede goes all the way around her. And then she's like, oh,
then she leaves.
Poke my head out and it's like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, just stay hidden.
Yeah, you fucked up. Sorry.
You've never said this many F-bombs in a YouTube video before.
Yeah, it's because I haven't been able to like stream as much lately. I haven't got my swears out live. And so they're coming out on YouTube. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We'll just get demonetized. So
it's fine. It's
then
$5.
This thing has her pitched up against the wall, and it's like ka-chunk, and she's like, oh no, and she tries to go the way, and it's like ka-chunk, and then she's like stuck, and it's like final blow time, and
And it kind of takes a while.
I lost my mind at how cool it was when Geralt jumps off the rock and drags its swords through its back. And I was like, yeah!
Yeah.
I was so hype.
Yeah, that looked pretty amazing.
It was rad. And honestly, that creature design was cool. The fight was cool.
Yeah.
The design of the Leshen was cool.
Yeah.
Like, everything about the finale of their storyline this episode, I was like, this is so rad. And I was so there for it.
Yeah. That was a really... Like, that was a big highlight, that scene for me from this episode. I think it was done really, really well.
Well, I think consistently across season 2, the creature design has been so strong.
Yes.
And they're stepping it up each episode. And I feel like even though there's some stuff within the plotting of this that feels like they're like rushing it along to get... it feels like they want every plot to be single episode plots for every character right now. Mm-hmm. That feels rushed, but the creature design and the fights and all of that stuff doesn't. And I'm happy about that because that stuff is very fun and builds out the world in a really nice way.
Yeah, for sure. And that is the end of the episode, correct?
Yeah, they go back to Kaer Morhen.
Yeah.
And then at the top of the next episode with those characters...
They're like running through the woods.
Geralt has the boar. And Ciri is like... Or no, they're doing parkour.
There's like a montage. There's like a fun little montage.
They're
of
hunting.
Speeches. It's very fun. Yeah.
But Ciri falls a bunch and she cuts her face.
Yep.
And Geralt catches a boar for dinner. And Ciri runs into a mysterious woman in the woods. And it's
guess
like...
who?
Ooh, what's up, girl?
And surprise, Triss Marigold.
Surprise is Triss.
Thank God. Because we were a little bit worried in episode 1 when all she did was have a seizure and then you just left Triss and we were like, oh,
well, and
okay.
in our last spoiler chat, we were like, Triss doesn't really have much to do. And she does a lot in episode 3 and episode 4 of this. And we get to kind of meet her character in a really nice way.
Yes.
That literally in the last spoiler chat, I was like, they just need to give Triss stuff to do. And they do here.
Yes, thank you for listening.
I don't know why she's in the woods.
Because she's on her way to Kaer Morhen.
Yeah, but can't she portal there? She portals Geralt out of Kaer Morhen at the end of this episode.
That's true.
So I don't know if is Kaer Morhen like Hogwarts and you can't
portal
in. It doesn't matter. She runs into Ciri in the woods, and
yeah,
she's very like motherly towards Ciri, I would say.
Yeah, she's like, I understand you don't trust me, and
heals Ciri's cheek.
Her face.
It's really nice, and then Geralt comes out of the woods.
Yeah,
and
he's like, oh hey.
He interests. They have a little chat. And the camera just is like very focused on Ciri in the back being like...
Yeah, she's like...
Is this my stepmom?
Yeah. Yeah, it was shot really well. It was very funny. So they head back to Kaer Morhen.
They reveal that Geralt has
sent for Triss
to help with Ciri's magic. Mm-hmm. And Triss doesn't tell Geralt that Yennefer is alive.
Nope. Doesn't tell him. And here's the thing. There is a chance Triss doesn't know that Geralt thinks Yennefer is dead. Triss may not know that Geralt showed up at the battlefield and got the information that he got.
Mm-hmm. Because she was unconscious when that happened.
Yeah, but you would think it would come up at some point, and it is very suspicious because then Triss is like, oh, we're both sad boys. Let's go spend the night together. Mm-hmm. And Geralt's like, no. And she's like, crap.
Yeah, and then she starts naming off the people who died at the Battle of Sodden Hill, and Geralt stops her because he doesn't want to hear the name Yennefer, right?
I think that's right before.
Right, but this is the beat, right? Is like he doesn't want to hear the name Yennefer. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that she's dead.
Yeah.
And she's like literally saying like, I say the names, and she starts saying the names of the people who died at the battle, and I was like, talk about Yen. No.
Nope.
Because I don't know if Triss knows that Yen is on the run right now.
No, wasn't she there at the...
I can't remember if she was at the thing. I think she was.
I think she was because I think we got a shot of them like looking at one another, but I could be wrong.
I just think it's super weird that she doesn't bring up Yennefer at all.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like...
It's definitely on purpose.
Okay.
Yep.
So who's going to tell Geralt?
Yep.
Is it going to be Istrid?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
And then he's going to come back and be like, what the hell, Triss?
Yeah, he's going to be like, you could have told me before you tried to sleep with me. Although, in the lore of The Witcher, Triss sometimes sleep with Geralt when he doesn't
remember
have memories. So, it's consistent, I guess. In a not great way for Triss. Like, it does make Triss look like maybe not the best person.
Well, and she's not.
It's a complicated world.
The facts are the facts, and, that's a really crappy thing to do to somebody. And I think that they're leaning into that Triss, I think Triss is going to be really wonderful in a lot of ways, especially as like a mentor to Ciri.
Yeah.
But just have this one thing about her that, it's not
She's
great.
making a play for Geralt's dick.
Yeah.
And
fair.
She might win. I don't think so. I think most people pick Yennefer. I think they released the statistics, and in Witcher 3, it's 78% of players pick Yennefer. It's it's something crazy high like that. I mean, I picked Triss in real life, but I picked Yennefer in the video game. So,
I didn't
insert photo of you as Triss.
Right here.
So then we do some science, which I did enjoy. I like that they were doing Witcher science. That was very fun.
Yeah, they looked at the head of the creature
and of the Lushan. And they realized they both have stalaceramisite.
Some kind of mineral.
We need a sound bar because it was really that word was very tough to hear.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming the show for that. I'm saying that our sound setup on our TV.
We have a TV.
Great.
We're using the TV speakers right now. I know, don't judge. We will get a sound bar. Yeah. Money. But that's fine. We'll get it. But yeah, it was a little bit hard to hear
but it was stalacite or something.
Something along those lines.
But it was the same in both, and so they came from the same place, and they're like, wait, how is that possible? What? And then Ciri's like, I dream about a monument. That's where they came from, because I screamed at it and it shattered.
Yeah, that's word for word.
That exactly. Is my Ciri impersonation.
Verbatim.
I will be voicing her in the audiobook sequel to the show. I know we're all very excited for that. And so Geralt's like, well, I've got to go. I've got to go to
I will check out this monument.
I don't know why my Geralt is just Harrison Ford. I've got to go to the monument. I've got to go see what's going on there. And so just I'll portal you to my friend. Also, Yennefer's other lover. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
I saw your joke.
That's going to be an interesting scene.
I don't think they know about each other, though.
No, but I think it'll come up by accident. So that'll be fun.
For fun.
But I'm actually, this episode really left me off very excited for episode 5. As much as there was a lot of stuff in the third episode that I didn't like, I am still, I'm still here for the ride.
Oh, I'm fully on board. I think that episode 2 to me was tougher to get through. I didn't really care about anything that was happening in it. Episode 3 and 4 to me are both really strong. And I think even stronger than... I would say, if I were to rank the episodes so far, I would say, worse is 2, then 3 is probably second, then 1, then 4.
Yeah,
but I think the 4th episode is the best episode so far. And the 4th episode does a really good job of setting up the rest of the season in a way that I'm really interested in going along with the journey from here on out.
Me too, yeah. Someone also tweeted out, they're like, oh my god, episode 5. So I'm like, ooh, what's really? Gonna happen? Yeah, I'm really excited
I can't wait for that.
For watching that. So
yeah, I think it's been fun to take a break every 2 episodes and talk about this show. Because it's interesting to me how we're finding that the quality of The Witcher is all over the place. Yeah. And I wonder why that is. I really do. There aren't a lot of television shows to me that are this inconsistent in how they deal with things. And I don't think that the show's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there is definitely stuff in the show that I just think is really dumb. And but there's also stuff in the show where I'm like, that centipede fight to me was rad, and I was like screaming on the edge of my seat. And the next scene was Yennefer running away from a bunch of magicians and being successful somehow, and I was like, there's this weird yin and yang in the show of quality. Yeah. And it's yo-yoing between really, really high highs and kind of really low lows, and the low lows are always for not great reasons. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm looking forward to next episode, but I've had some issues with it, and it's kind of felt like a all over the place roller coaster, and not in a good way, one that's not super well built, and you're I don't feel good.
I'm definitely hotter on it than you are.
I think so.
I would give this season a 7 out of 10 so far.
Yeah, I feel like I'm sitting at around a 6 out of 10 because honestly, episode 2 and 3, there was a lot in them that I really didn't like, but there are a lot of things that I do like, and so I feel super conflicted about. You
didn't love season 1 either, though. So where would you put so far in season 2 versus season 1?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I need to compare the seasons as a whole. Okay. I don't know if I can give a fair comparison having only seen 4 episodes of season 2.
I think season 2 so far for me is stronger than season 1 purely because the not having to jump time periods has allowed the narrative to have a lot more focus.
Yes,
and I think that is working in its favor.
Yeah,
for sure. Before we wrap this up, let's talk about the big tease of the episode. Arguably the most important part of episode 4 in terms of the show going forward is Vesemir finds some flowers, and he takes them to Tristan. He's like, "You know biology better than I do."
Biology, the plant life.
Whatever he says to her, I can't remember what word to use. The foliage maybe, and he's like, "Please tell me I'm not crazy." And he shows her these like beautiful blue flowers, and she's like, "Well, that's weird. That only grows where elder blood has been spilled." And he's like, "Well, there's these everywhere that damn little girl has bled."
No, it was like, "Oh, she fell and cut her."
And they're like, "Elder blood has been gone forever." And he's like, "Well, don't know what to tell you. Ciri's got elder blood, and now..."
Which means that they can make new Witchers.
They can make new Witchers.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially. So,
you brought up that you thought that Vesemir doesn't want to make more Witchers.
So, and I don't want to, like, include...
I don't remember that. But you might be right.
For some reason, we watched the, like, animated Vesemir story from when Geralt was, like, a wee baby. And Vesemir...
Not a baby, a child.
Yeah, he's 10
like
or
8.
whatever. Yeah. For some reason... I had it in my head that Vesemir was very iffy, not happy about making new Witchers.
That was 150 years ago, though, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't Geralt's been a Witcher for like 150 years, I think?
I don't know how
It's
long.
something like that.
Definitely a good chunk of time. It was just... It stuck out to me in my head, and I just... It made me wonder about it. And maybe I'm completely wrong, and that's not how we left off in that animated thing, which they have referenced once or twice already. And so, chat, comments below. Am I absolutely insane for remembering? Am I making this up in my head? Because for some reason, I thought that Vesemir had a lot of reservations about creating more Witchers. So...
Well, in the show he doesn't. In the show he's very excited.
He's very excited.
And I wonder if that might just be that, we see Vesemir and Geralt talking a lot about how the world seems to be changing and getting more dangerous and there seems to be more monsters. And maybe Vesemir, he might not want to create more Witchers. He might see it as a necessity. And that would be interesting to me. That would be really interesting storytelling to me for Vesemir to do it kind of, begrudgingly because he feels like it needs to be done.
Yeah,
but he does seem excited in the moment and Triss seems very confused. And honestly, I don't know where they're going with this, which is cool and fun. And I like this Elder Blood storyline a lot. I think it's rad.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what's next in terms of the show right now. I think that episode... I like I said earlier, I think that episode 4 is setting up the rest of the season really nicely. And these 2 episodes were more in line with how I was feeling after watching episode 1. So I think that in my estimation, episode 2 is just kind of a dip for me personally. But I think the show is overall pretty good. I don't think it's the most amazing thing. I think that I do think it's like inconsistent in terms of trusting its characters' intelligences and like behaving in a way that I feel like they would.
And the audience intelligence.
And so that's a little unfortunate to me. I kind of wish that was stronger. The Stregobor moment in episode 3 is really like a really weird, just nonsense to me. So I can't say that it's like a 10 out of 10 show, but I really like it. And so I don't hate it. I'm really enjoying it. I think the fighting and the like action of this season is a huge step forward from season 1. And so that has been an absolute delight. And I'm really happy that like the Witchering is cool.
The signing? Yeah.
Oh, and we talked about this. They're really leaning into the use of signs, which I never did in the game.
Really?
No,
oh my
I
God,
use Igni,
so
and that's it. I would just like light things on fire and then stab them. Unless I had to use the... if I had to use the circle to fight something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I never used any signs. I would just kill everything with my blades because I am a bladesman.
Great.
Stick them with the pointy end. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button because no one can see that you disliked it except us. So you can just hurt us personally. Just give us a little stab in the heart.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
I'm over at twitch.tv/clarusdracarys.
Everything after the slash, you can search anywhere and you'll find us.
Hell yeah.
And go to gamersubs.gg and enter the coupon code Clarus to get your 10% off today. Get you some energy. There are some new flavors coming soon. Don't worry, we'll tell you about those when they drop because we already have them. And we're going to have a video about GamerSup's new material soon.
Yeah.
Once our contact there lets us know that we're allowed to talk about it publicly.
Exactly.
NDAs are fun. Until next time, y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.